start right at 4 or not?
I'm gonna go grab them right now.
Okay. Thank you.
When I pop in, I'll tell you they can go live if you're wanting to not have
Just don't,
dead time.
just.
I'll come in and I'll go like this. I'll do that.
I just want no one to walk in and do that. Now I'm just like, are you ready to
I'm
go?
gonna say I can point it over there just in case.
No, he didn't do that, so
Not yet. Not yet.
I'm still waiting for the.
I will come out and I will do that. Wait, not if you're pointing this direction. It's probably gonna be about a minute or so.
That's fine.
No, I just kinda wanted everybody to walk in, but if he really comes in and he does that.
Owen's figuring about a minute-ish before they're ready to go. That's what he said, but once again, he's gotta wrangle everybody up. That's fine. Just keep your ear on, just keep your eye on the. Gotcha.
All right. We're good.
I broke my glasses already once.
All right, everybody ready? Everybody good? Okay. So last week I stood up here before you guys and spoke to our community about the unacceptable level of violence that's going on in our community, and announced the formation of a community crime task force, violent crime task force. Over the weekend, large group of individuals gathered on top of the Redstone parking lot, and several dozen shots were fired, many shots, damaging the art museum, Sky Bridge, etc. Prime example of individuals and groups in our community that some seem to have a blatant disregard for human life and property. As I said last week, far too long the community has placed the sole burden of preventing crime on our police, and it's time again for us as a community to come together as active participants in dealing with rising crime. Quite frankly, it's only by the grace of God that no one was injured. However, it could have easily turned deadly. We need the community's help to ensure incidents like this don't continue. Our community must become invested in developing solutions. Far too long we've stood up here and talked to residents about the violence that's occurring. But today I want the community to see for themselves a level of violence that some folks are willing to inflict on our community. I want our community to see what some of our police officers have to deal with every day. In a moment, we'll be playing a security camera footage from the Skybridge that shows the incident. But first, I'd like to have Chief Sikorsky kind of come up and give an overview of what happened. Chief?
Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, everybody. On Sunday morning, about 1:30 in the morning, Davenport officers responded to the Redstone parking ramp for reports of shots fired. They were very close and in the area, and as they got on scene at the ramp, they encountered several subjects fleeing the ramp as shots were being fired. So our officers there, shots were being fired, and they responded to a potential active shooter situation in the ramp. That's how serious this is. For the next several seconds, officers began to secure the parking ramp, and they attempted to interview people that were on scene and part of this disturbance. They received limited cooperation, and several people who were there and that officers tried to interview basically told officers they didn't see anything. Investigators on scene, we started our investigation, and officers were on scene for the rest of that morning and into the following day for numerous hours, gathering evidence, including video surveillance evidence, which we'll show you a little bit of here, as well as almost 80 shell casings from this incident. In a moment, we're going to play the security footage from the incident, and I would like our community to watch the footage and ask yourselves, is this acceptable in our community? Is it acceptable for our kids, our young men, young women, to be involved in this and not care about each other, not care about helping to solve the problem of violent crime in our community? Is this where we are as a community? Oh, you want to play that video, please? When we're playing the video, I'll point out just a couple of things here. So this is the Skybridge here, if you can see my laser, and this is the gathering that was in the top floor of the Redstone ramp. About 20, 25 cars, maybe 80 subjects. A disturbance happens around this car here with numerous individuals. In a moment, you'll see people just start to scatter. That's when shots begin to occur. Just a second here. See the disturbance, and then people scatter. So these first shots are there. This subject in the red here, right here, he'll start to walk away, and then he'll come back and he'll start firing rounds. This guy right here, he'll start shooting. You can see the muzzle flash, bang, bang, bang. He walks around, continues to fire, goes behind the car, continues to work his way around here. And eventually works his way over here into another vehicle with several other subjects. So you can see how many people are near the shooting, and that's only one of the subjects shooting. This is a clip of a 6-minute video, is it? So with 80 shell casings, there wasn't one person shooting. There's several people shooting. That's one of them. This is a picture of the scene. All of these markers are pieces of evidence, most of them shell casings from this incident. Another view of the same thing. There's the Sky Bridge. Some of the windows there were shot out, some bullet holes up on top. You can see where the impacts are in our Sky Bridge windows. There's bullet holes up here as well. That's from inside the Sky Bridge. This is our Figgy. See all the windows that were broken where rounds hit. Thanks, Owen. Since those present at this scene, our kids, our community members who are present at this scene, refused to cooperate with authorities, refused to cooperate to let us know who was involved with this, who's causing danger in our community. We're now seeking assistance from our community. We need your help. We need to know who did this because it's unacceptable in our community. So we're asking our community, take a look at this incident. Our media is here. They're going to cover it for us, as always, and we appreciate that. Take a look at this. You recognize any of these people? You hear people talking about this. You see social media chatter about this, about who's involved. Call us, 326-7979. We need to know about it. We want to put a stop to this. If you can identify anybody in these videos, please call us. Mayor, I'm going to turn it back over to you, sir.
Thanks, Chief. So over the past several months, local law enforcement agencies have been working with our friends from the NAACP and LULAC and others to strengthen the relationship and work together with many organizations. I'm very thankful for the partnership that's being developed here. We know that as we work to address violent crime in Davenport, these valuable partners are critical in us working together to solve this problem. I'd now like to introduce the Reverend Dr. Melvin Grimes from the NAACP to say a few words. Doctor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and to our Chief Sikorsky, and to, of course, our president who is here from the NAACP. I'm chair of community relations. I also pastor a church here in the Quad Cities. I also have a vested interest here in the Quad Cities as far as youth who are members of our church. And I'm standing here saying that this can no longer happen. This is not acceptable. We pay taxes here. I pay taxes here. I work with many members of the community here. I have been a resident of the community for the past 32 years. I don't want to have to do any more funerals. I'm tired of writing condolences to parents who have lost children, young people who are part of this violence and victims of this violence. The finger pointing has got to stop. The saying that I don't trust anybody has to stop, because if it doesn't, then trouble is going to visit somebody on their front doors, and it's going to be another loss of life, which does not make any sense. Anytime that funerals are hard enough in what I do, but when I have to do a funeral of a young person or an adult who has been the victim of senseless violence, and it is senseless. It is senseless, and I don't mean to bite my tongue about it. It's senseless. It's stupid. It does not solve anything. And it doesn't make you any more of a man or a woman if you're going to hide behind a pistol because you have a disagreement. It doesn't make sense. I could say something much more penetrating, but I won't. But I'm sick of it. Now, you have one or two choices. You can either let it continue on, and if it continues on until one of our young people is shot by the police department trying to protect themselves, please do not holler or come running to the NAACP hollering, "What's wrong? This is not right," because you refuse to have respect and dignity for somebody else. We can disagree and be disagreeable. We can be disagreeable and we can go our separate ways, but it does not mean that we take a life. You're a coward if you're going to stand behind a gun. And our mayor, as well as our police chief and law enforcement, is asking for the community's help. Be brave enough, be smart enough, and have enough respect and courage to say something and provide some kind of information. If we can reach accomplishment such as we did today on the Illinois side of the river, where I, as a part of the Village of 1,000 Elders, along with the police chiefs, along with the superintendents of school, along with the mayors on the Illinois side, signed a covenant where we will respect each other and we will not use color as an assumption, then it can be done on the Iowa side as well. It can be done because it's being done. And it can be done. And I'm here as a representative of the NAACP to say that I'm working with the police department as well as the mayor and others who are willing to work together to have respect for each other and respect for life. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Can we get a big amen on that?
Amen.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Grimes. When I announced the formation of the task force, several African-American men stepped up, came forward to be an active part of the solution. Pastor Stephen Eccles with Davenport Peace is one of those. I'd like to hear from him, and Pastor Eccles, if you would also say a few words.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Mayor Matson and Chief Sikorsky. We count it an honor just to be here and speak. I am Stephen Eccles, and representing the Davenport Peace Group along with my colleagues here today, Mr. Mike Cole and Mr. Rodney Tatum. And I am the senior pastor of the Greater Praise Temple Church, 700 East 6th Street in Davenport, Iowa, the great city of Davenport, Iowa. And with that being said, this is our city. This is our responsibility. I hear a lot of chatter that goes on throughout the days, throughout our local communities, in our on our blocks and streets. Community of Davenport, this is our responsibility. We cannot allow this type of action to continue. We have to stand together, and be the voice and the grit of this community. And with that being said, we cannot accept what is taking place. We have children that we're raising. We have families that we're building, and we can't even feel the comfort of being out and about because we don't know who's going to do what, when they're going to do it. We talked about trust. This is past our police department. Everyone wants to point the finger at the police department. No, parents, can you locate your children? Can you locate your kids? This is past them. They have a lot going on, and we know what's going on. We have to get off being on hush mode and start speaking out for truth. Because after a while, we're not going to be able to walk down the street because there's going to be so much craziness going on. We have to make a stand. We have to get sick and tired of this stuff. This is our responsibility, community. Step up. You want to be impactful. You want to have your turkey drives. You want to give to the home. No, step up and be a voice in the community. Be your portion of truth. Be your portion of peace, because we need that in this hour. We have a lot going on in our communities. But guess what? If we don't stand with each other, we can't make anything happen. God bless our NAACP, our police department, city council. But guess what, community? We're nothing without you. We need your voice. Contact us. Contact Central High School. I'm sure it was a graduation on yesterday. How terrible would it have been that we have been busting our behinds, busting our butts to get a lot of you to graduate. And we hearing another condolence letter, another funeral of our young kids. Can't even see 21 because we taking so much pride in a gun. No, we need you to put the guns down. This is our community. We don't have to take this. We don't have to stand for this. No, this is our responsibility, people. This is our responsibility. We must be able to take some ownership. This is past color. Like Dr. Grimes is saying, this is past color. We make riots, we march for police brutality. We get so enraged in that, but when are we going to get enraged about our 14-year-old young men and women dying? By a gun, by a bullet. When are you going to feel that, community? We're trying everything we can. This is past the mayor. We're doing so much stuff. Where are you? That's what I want to say today. It's time that we get together, that we stop talking, and we start impacting our community. The Bible says in Psalms 133, brethren, how good and how pleasant it is for men to dwell together in unity. Unity is not what we're trying to preach to you, is what we need to become. Let me say that one more time. Unity is not what we are preaching to you, but is what we need to become. We got our work cut out, but I'm willing to get my hands dirty along with everyone else. If you are willing to step up, call us. My time is up. Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor, for this opportunity.
Another amen. Yep.
Yes, sir.
I'm honored to be in the presence of these folks who are stepping up and leading. I'm just honored to stand here. So as we close today, I want to reiterate this level of violence is completely unacceptable, and that we're always working with our state and federal partners to secure resources that need to be used to effectively do our jobs. I talked to the governor twice today. I've talked to several state folks, U.S. folks. We're asking for some assistance. We're working on that. But ultimately, our community, as you've heard from these wonderful gentlemen here, must be willing to take a hard look. You saw that video. What can you do to help prevent this violence? The first meeting of the Violent Crime Task Force is next Monday, and we're going to work on actionable solutions. I thank you for your time, and if you have a couple questions, whoever you want to ask, I'm happy to direct them their way.
What exactly were you asking Governor Reynolds for?
I can't hear you, ma'am.
What were you asking Governor Reynolds for?
So we discussed some technical support, some state police support, her staff, our staff. We'll work out the details, but especially on that technical gun side. Yeah. And she's very supportive. I thank her for that. Anyone else?
Do you feel that you have enough resources to get a handle on the increasing crime that we have here? Mayor?
So our police is are busting their butt. I tried to control my mouth here from last time, all right? All right, so I didn't say the one word, okay? So, but they are, okay? And we're asking them to do a lot. And as you heard from these wonderful gentlemen, that's a piece of it, right? But I think we do need a couple more resources, and that's why I'm asking, right? Because they're doing what they need to do, and they're working as much as they can. But some extra help we're asking for. We are. Yeah.
Chief Sikorsky, can you speak to that question, sir?
Yeah, absolutely. We've been engaged in the public safety partnership through a Department of Justice. And one of the things that emphasizes is a collaborative effort. So just last week, the assistant chief and myself met with the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Iowa, and we also met with Mike Walton, our county attorney, specifically about strategies about exactly what we're talking about here today, what's going on here today. I sent a summary of Sunday morning's events to our county attorney just so he knows this is going on. You may see some things coming across your desk at some point in time during this investigation. He's very interested in a strategy to combat this. We certainly want to collaborate with our federal partners, with our county partners, as the mayor talked about, our state partners as well. Absolutely, we love to have assistance in bringing this down. And I think one of the things that the mayor has talked about, Pastor Eccles talked about, is we're here because we need more help. But that help isn't only in enforcement. There's gentlemen in here that are working with our kids in our schools, addressing exactly what we saw here. But we need help. Y'all need help, right? Right, Rodney Tatum, right? Mike, we need our community to join in and help with this effort. We can't rely on a half dozen men who are willing to get their hands and their elbows dirty addressing this. We need our whole community to do that. And the way I look at the mayor's community task force is the city trying to help organize people, organize groups, organize our community in tackling this situation in an organized fashion, and all of us going towards the same goal of reducing gun violence, reducing the amount of victims that we have in our community. That's really important to all of us, right? We have all been in this room before talking about the death of a 14-year-old, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. When are we going to be sick and tired of it and step up and come to action? I guarantee you, every sworn police officer with a badge on in this police department and in our Quad City region is working on it, and we will continue to work on it. Where we need help is from our community to step up and help us as well. And I know they will. But we have great leaders that are working to coordinate that effort. So I appreciate that question.
Anyone else?
Chief, how is the level of gun violence right now at this point this year compared to last year?
It's the answer to your question is the level of violence is very similar. We had a drastic rise last year in 2020 in violent crime, in gun crime specifically, and shots fired. We're right on track with where we were last year. So we're not seeing a decline yet. That's why we're here. We need to see it. And we need our community's help to make that happen.
If I can hear your voice, how frustrating is it for your men to go to scenes like this and get the resistance, if you will, that they're receiving?
Yep, I'll tell you, it's very frustrating. I have all the praise in the world for the men and women who wear the badge today for what they deal with it's seemingly a daily basis. But it is frustrating for them. It's frustrating for all of us up here. I think you can hear it in all our voices. Before we came down here, we were talking very frankly in our conference room upstairs, and all of us are frustrated. I met with some of our elected officials yesterday and our city administrator. We all want to do what is necessary to bring this trend down, and we want to start here in Davenport. It's a national trend, and we're seeing it all over the nation. it doesn't mean we have to see it here in Davenport. We all want it. All of you are nodding your heads. All of you want it as well. And we can make it happen here in Davenport. That frustration will subside when we start seeing the positive effects of what this community is going to do and is doing for us. Because we'll see more kids and more parents coming up and wanting to make this stop. So letting us know who was shooting on that ramp. Why were they shooting? You know, we're in a very fortunate situation because I'm not telling you that a 20-year-old is dead, or a 12-year-old is dead, or a 14-year-old is dead. So we're in a fortunate situation here. That's a mess down there, but it's an opportunity for us to take that exclamation point from that video and do something with it. We're not looking at somebody that one of our pastors here has to do a eulogy for and a funeral for. But we have, right? As a community, we have. And we're all trying to stop it. We need to have it stop, and we need the community's help to make that happen.
You might have mentioned this earlier, Chief. Were there any injuries?
We don't know of any injuries from this incident. No, we do not.
Chief, Governor Reynolds recently signed a law allowing permitless carry in Iowa. Do you think that will have an effect on trying to fight gun crime here?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's something we're certainly going to measure as time goes by. And like the mayor said, I know the governor is very willing to talk about any kind of situations that we're seeing in our city here. So we will absolutely be monitoring that and talking with the governor's office on anything that we see related to that.
Chief, have you gotten any sort of tips or information from the incident that happened on Sunday or Saturday night? Have you?
Sunday morning. So that's why you're here. They're going to start pouring in after you guys get this information out to our community. Okay?
Anyone else? Gentlemen, anything else? So again, I just want to say thank you to our friends, our partnerships. This is a community thing. This is a unity thing, and we're all working together. Thank you guys for being here to put that word out. But please, as you heard the chief say, what's the number? 326?
326-7979.
Please call. Give us anything, even if you think it's a small thing. Give us anything. We're going to use all the resources we have to deal with this, but we need your help to also. So thank you very much. That's right. All right. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Say this.